Vi ser här. YouTube. Din kanal. Ja, här har vi. Vad sa du? Jag skickar länken nu här i boysen. Eller jag skickar en boysen. Jag vet inte fan vad vi har helst. Discord. Discord. Tystare inte sådär. Så risken finns att du kommer höra ett dubbelt där. Jag vet. Det blir kamera till inställningar för del och sändningsinställningar. Inkludera video från byta en kamera.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So the action is underway, and we'll take you out now to our featured golfer here at number 1. Stepping up to the first tee, Frank, what are some keys to be thinking about at this point?
Really got to pick a decent target. Really focus in on that. Don't really worry about left and right. Nice, good full swing. Slow, if anything, off the first tee. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough and it appears to be fairly thick over there. And this attempt will be from about 130 yards.
There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
This one just requires a little bit of focus.
put more hope than determination in that putt.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Back to the action here at the second. It's a par 3, demanding hole, Frank, isn't it?
Longest par 3 on the golf course. Slightly downhill, but you need every advantage here. It requires your best.
Frank, looks like he came over just a little bit.
Yeah, that one wasn't pretty, but it's still gonna get away with it.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Too bad, misses the putt and an opportunity. So a tester from 4 feet. Even par early on. Frank, now to the third hole here at Bay Hill. If you have a case of the snap hooks, you're in some serious trouble here.
You're going to run out of golf balls here as well, but a good tee shot's going to leave you something like 150, 160 yards into a very narrow green.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. Now, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Third shot, looking for a good one. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Shouldn't be a problem here. Still even par for the day. And now let's go down to the action at the fourth. As we catch up with today's featured golfer, Frank, what's the key to generating some momentum?
Just hitting good shots. I know it sort of sounds like the old cliche, but plenty of opportunities. A few 10, 15-foot putts start going down. This round will change dramatically.
Second shot coming up here at the par 5.
Well, that's the best that was going to be on the fringe.
Not too bad. Safely aboard. Settles in over the putt. Has the birdie, now at 1 under par for the tournament. Frank, what's the play here off the tee? Is it driver, or do you play it safe with an iron?
A lot of the times that's predicated by the wind, Rich. If you've got a trailing breeze, driver is very much in play. Otherwise, just poke a little iron down the right side. Rich, there's rough and rough. That ball is needle-nosed down.
Can't even see it from here. Well, certainly playable from here. Ball is in the first cut. Not too bad.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Well, he's going for back-to-back birdies here, trying to jumpstart this round.
Some momentum moving in the right direction.
Once considered the best player at the college level, our featured golfer makes birdie, sitting comfortably inside the cut line. Frank, the sixth is a big, brawny par 5, and it can be scary as well with all of that water.
And if you're a history buff, you'll remember in 1998, John Daly made 18. Beat that? Well, you're a little better than John.
What's wrong with 18? If you break it down, Frank, that's actually 3 pars and an eagle. By my math, that's pretty good work.
But you got 17 other holes to play.
Frank, which way is this headed?
Well, judging by his body English, looks like it's heading a little right. There is a bit of green out there, though.
Played that one on the commercial side, as they say in the professional game, inside 30 feet.
Yeah, 27 feet to be precise, but to make it from there, that's asking for a bit.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Starting to move now, Frank, on this leaderboard.
Certainly going all in the positive direction. He's in the middle of the pack, now top 15.
Frank, the good news as you come to the 7th after that beast of a par 5 is that it's just under 200 yards and there's no water.
Yeah, it's not as long as the second, but it's just as demanding. Very narrow entry into this green. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up.
Rich, with a lie like that in the rough, you're going to get too much grass between club face and ball. You're going to have to adjust for that and at least take a club or two more.
And it is in.
Amazing. Amazing.
Getting ready to tee off here at the 8th. Frank, this hole has it all. Dogleg, bunkers, water. How do you successfully navigate it?
It's such a pretty looking hole, Rich. That bunker down the left just sort of pops out and you see it. So you can either work it off that to the right, either that or just aim a little right. But be careful of those trees on the right. Hazard.
Maybe that ball is lost in the water. After hitting it in the drink, this is the 4th shot.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. The scorecard is quickly adding up.
Frank, this is one you don't practice, but sometimes you have to do it. Time for the drop.
Yeah, it should be the easiest shot in golf. You've just paid for it.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
So they'll tap in. Now at -2 for the day. Rounding out the front 9 here at Bay Hill, 474-yard par 4. Frank, you've played this hole before. Where are you lining up when you step onto the tee here?
There's an out of bounds all the way down the left side that you have to be cognizant of. But that bunker, 290 yards carries it. And yet again, another hole that favors the long hitter.
Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Just a couple of feet. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
He pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Well, he's on the green, but still plenty of work left. About a 25-footer coming up. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Pretty good effort right there. And he's putting for par now. Holding steady now at 2 under par. Now to the 11th with water left, bunkers on the right. Frank, what's the key here?
Well, too often people just look at the scorecard and they go, well, it's over 400.
And he went for the brief swim there, Frank. He's trying to stay dry now.
He is. Just trying to avoid water on the brain as well. This will take a good swing.
Third shot now after the last one found the deep blue.
Yeah, you can still minimize the damage here. It's only one bad shot that you got punished for. And this will be fine, just a little left of the flag.
Not quite where he was aiming, but still enough room to get it up and down. And getting ready for the putt. So close.
Oh, that even caught me by surprise, Rich. I thought par was in the bag.
This now for bogey. Now at 1 under for the round. Frank, 574-yard par 5. Scoring opportunity here?
The breeze behind, once again, a reachable par 5. The hardest thing about this hole really is the green. It's raised up a little bit, slopes off on either side.
What a drive. Just tattooed that.
Second shot.
Not a huge miss, Frank, but did lose this just a little to the right.
Yeah, looks like it's going to catch a piece of the green, though.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. Frank, that's just a really good putt right there.
Yeah, that's why you call lag putting. You get outside a certain distance, and really your mind has to be about two putting and not trying to be a hero.
Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Frank, this is an interesting hole. It's a par 4 13th, and it isn't necessarily a driver off the tee. What are the options?
Yeah, you break it down, 250 off the tee, leaves 120. There's nothing wrong with playing the hole that way. You get a little over-ambitious here and run out of fairway. That second shot over water. Whoa.
And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. All right, Frank, second shot.
Yeah, it looks like a good lie. Just take maybe half a club more than the distance allows. Still got to check the wind. Don't have to fly the ball all the way to the flag from here.
Great shot coming out of that bunker right there.
Showing some skills today.
These putts keep the round together. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
With authority, count it as a par and 2 under. Frank, I like a good par 3 over 200 yards, requiring that one good clean strike. And here's a good case in point, 216 yards, all you want.
Yeah, bunkered at the back, bunkered to the left side, a little collection area to the right. So really, in the end, you've got one choice. That's hit your best.
That will be a great look at birdie. This from about 10 feet. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Locked in on the read and the speed. Now in the top 25 after the par. We're here at the 15th now, and a big dogleg right on this one. Frank, what's the best route to take to shoot the low number?
You've got to look at that run out down the left side, which is about 320 yards. If you can stay short of that, then that gives you a perfect shot into this green.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And anything, you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
That takes him to 1 under on the day. The Bay Hill Club and Lodge features a really exciting finishing stretch. 16 is a reachable par 5. You'll see eagles and birdies there coming home. 17, a very difficult par 3 over the water. The bunker is there, takes an excellent shot, and that 18 is all you want. We know that with the water in front, that second shot which comes over the lake, and that, Frank, I hate to go negative, but let's clear a few things up. The penalties when you hit it in the water versus hitting it out of bounds.
Yeah, some people, that's a good question, Rich, because some people think they're almost the same, but when you hit it out of bounds, you're actually losing a stroke and a distance. For example, if I'm teeing off on a par 4 and I hit it out of bounds, I'm penalised a stroke for hitting out of bounds, and I'm hitting my third shot off the tee. When I hit it into a water hazard, I don't have to lose all of that distance. I can drop the ball up just short of the water hazard. So the distance penalty isn't the same as if it was out of bounds.
This now the fourth shot after the last one was in the water.
Yeah, just somehow just get it on the green.
Birdie try up next. That would have been a real bonus had it dropped, but as it is, good putt. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Just hammered that par putt, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he was thinking or what was going through his mind right there, but he better wake up in a hurry, because if this one doesn't go in, that score's going to rack up very quickly.
Frank, now one of the signature holes here at Bay Hill. It's the 18th, scene of quite a bit of history through the years.
Yeah, if you can hit a tee shot around 300 yards, it's going to give you about 150 in, so that's the goal here. The tee shot, wide fairway, but once again, second shot.
This won't hurt him, Frank.
Yeah, just a little left of the flag. That's fine.
Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Ooh, almost fell. Just a few inches from dropping.
Sometimes the game just isn't fair.
So a good performance today, 71. Frank, always nice to test yourself at one of the game's great venues, the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. What a day.
Yeah, and you know you've played a golf course where the PGA Tour has visited for so many years. So you, like the best players in the world, great opportunity to test your skills.
For Frank Nobilo and all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long until next time. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. It's second-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We're at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida, site of one of the PGA Tour's premier stops, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Always attracting a great field, and through the years it has been the scene of just some championship play from one guy in particular.
Tiger Woods has won there an incredible 8 times.
We're ready to go. Off to the first hole. Stepping up to the first tee, sights set on posting another low number here in round 2. Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Frank, this has been an absolute mess today and all week long.
You said it best.
Back to the action here at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Second hole, it is a pretty demanding par 3, Frank.
Goal really is to just carry that front bunker or sneak it a little right of that and try and cheat it around.
Well, at least he can draw on the experience from the previous hole. Again, in the bunker. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Frank, now to the third hole, and where's the trouble here? That's fairly obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's one thing you don't want to remind yourself of. There's a bunker all the way down the right side. That's a good place to aim.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle. Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
Playing his 4th shot after the 3rd was wet. Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Shouldn't be a problem here. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Rich Lerner with Frank Nobilo back at the 4th hole. It's par 5, the first one on the golf course, and Frank, a really good scoring opportunity.
It certainly is. 2 bunkers down the left. Just want to keep it inside that. If you flare it a little right, there's a hazard that just sneaks up on you. Second shot.
Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
He'll need to be strong with this. That is how it's done right there. What an approach shot. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Oh, I thought he had that.
Well, I thought that at least pick up a shot. Birdie looked like a sitter. Yeah, par.
That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par and you keep things steady. Fifth hole at Bay Hill. Frank, this is a chance to employ some course management as opposed to maybe brute strength. What do you think?
Yeah, rather soft par 4. No water here, but bunker down the left and bunker down the right. Pinches into that corner. So if you're a little wayward, an iron here is not a bad idea. I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up. Get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Birdie try again here today. We haven't seen a whole lot of that, Frank, but that has to feel good. Frank, back in 1998, by any chance, do you remember exactly how many golf balls John Daly hit into the water at the 6th?
It was half a dozen. Half a box of golf balls.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Frank, that swing looks lively and strong.
Oh, that had to fly 300. It's close to 310.
That's out of bounds, and it'll cost him a shot. Can add up quickly, Frank. This already his 4th shot.
Yeah, time to knuckle down. Really wants to hit one of his better shots right now.
And he's made the green. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Okay, no problem with that one. Moving on now, Frank, we're at the par 3 7th hole. What's the challenge here?
Really, the high ball hitters have an advantage here. Just try and carry it in the middle of the green.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Pretty far from the hole, but still on the green, and that's never too bad. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Looks like he just misread that. Trying to stay steady, make a par. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Getting ready to tee off here at the 8th. Frank, this hole has it all. Dogleg, bunkers, water. How do you successfully navigate it?
It's such a pretty looking hole, Rich. That bunker down the left just sort of pops out and you see it. So you can either work it off that to the right, either that or just aim a little right. But be careful of those trees on the right.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
It's no snack, though.
Frank, he took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Finishing up here on the front side at Bay Hill with a lengthy par 4. What's the key, Frank?
Well, the hole's relatively flat, but the rough on the right comes into play. If you can carry that ball 300 yards, then just take it in over the bunker.
Well, he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Frank, he's knocking them down and picking them up.
Oh, it's just taking pins out, one after the other.
These putts keep the round together. Count it. That's a birdie. Back in Orlando, Florida at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge, getting set for the second 9. Frank, how do you get off to a good start?
Well, Rich, it's one of the shortest par 4s really at Bay Hill. 3 bunkers, but as long as you avoid those, it's a great birdie opportunity.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. He's made it. Now the inward half, as we say in golf, the back nine, Frank.
You can break a round of golf down into many different compartments, but most people look at the front nine and the back nine. A good back nine obviously makes your scorecard look so much better, no matter what you've done on the front.
So the golf ball ends up in that first cut. It's a little bit less than 2 inches. You can see the golf ball should be able to get at it, but may not be able to control the spin. We'll see. How about that shot? From that lie to get it that close, tremendous effort. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts.
Even par currently.
Good putt. Teeing it up here on the 12th, 574-yard par 5, Frank.
Another one that's reachable, obviously long and straight. That rough down the right side, though, is normally very thick. Avoid the two bunkers, lots of contours and undulations around this green.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
So after the layup, Frank, here at the par 5 12th, pitch shot here, try to make birdie.
Yeah, just use the contours of this green. You can actually get to this flag a lot of different ways. Using one of the mounds, there's nothing wrong with that.
Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. Now comfortably inside that cut line, the former national champ makes birdie. At the par 4 13th now, this is a hole, Frank, that requires some smart club selection. What are the options here?
Yeah, very sneaky par 4. That bunker on the right is 250 yards or so off the tee. So you've either got a choice to play short of that or sneak it down the end, which is about 300 yards. But if you try and be bold here and miss the fairway, that second shot,
he moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side.
Not too bad. It's about 23 feet away.
He didn't hit the flagstick, but he still has a chance. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. In for par. Another challenging par 3 here at Bay Hill. It's the 14th, 216 yards, Frank.
It plays uphill, prevailing breeze too, into your face, so normally much longer than its yardage.
That's well played. Now, good look at birdie.
It's at sneaky distance.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Continues to roll it very well all day long. Frank, the 15th, kind of a fun golf hole if you can curve your ball. I mean, that's a huge dogleg to the right, isn't it?
It's much easier if you're a right-hander if you cut it down here. If you don't cut it, then make sure you don't run out down that left side.
We knew it right away. Picked up the tee, didn't even look at it. We can see it. It's perfect, right down the middle of the fairway. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Solid play, heart of the green. He'll have 17 feet on this putt.
Oh, now that is going to hurt.
A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. He's made it. We've seen guys through the years blow the tournament right on this hole.
Yeah, if you get a little too greedy here, you try and make eagle. It's sometimes with a good tee shot, it's an easy 4, but a 3 brings 7 into play.
Well, too bad. He'll have to play from the bunker. And once again, off the tee and in the bunker. Missed the fairway in the fairway bunker now.
It's not all gloom and doom, though. Lip isn't too high. A good swing here still shouldn't be a problem.
Not quite where he was aiming. That one far to the left, but still on the green. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Always 2 components to the long lag putt, the speed, number 1, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Frank, deep into a round, par 3 17th, water, bunkers, long shot. What are you thinking as you're stepping on this tee?
You just take 3 and move to 18.
All right, the approach shot is on the green, but he'll have a very testy putt coming up. Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
My goodness, what does a guy have to do to make a putt out here? You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
So still swinging well with confidence right in the fairway here at 18. Well, Frank, I just love this second shot here at 18. We've seen it so many times. We've seen some great moments, and we've seen some very unfortunate ones as well.
It scares the living daylights out of even the best players in the world. Very skinny entry to this crescent-shaped green on the left side. But if you go down the left, there's those 2 bunkers that sort of stop you going too far left. If you go straight at it, there's another bunker towards the right. This is so much about, are you swinging good? Do you have the shot? Now I've got to find out.
Score that a birdie. Frank, that wraps up another great day of golf here at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Always enjoy it.
Yeah, it's always a great test. Win, lose, or draw, you played the King's Golf Course.
Couldn't have said it better myself. From all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner. For Frank Nobilo, until next time. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We're at one of the premier stops on the PGA Tour in Orlando, Florida. It's the Bay Hill Club and Lodge, the house that Arnold Palmer built Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for Golf Channel and EA Sports.
And Bay Hill, of course, the Arnold Palmer Invitational has been really the staple in the Florida swing on the PGA Tour. Oh, they've had some meat behind it.
Now the approach here at number 1, Frank, what's he looking at?
A nice high, soft landing second shot would be ideal here. There's a little bit of a ridge in this green. Don't really want to be going long here. Those two bunkers, never easy coming out of those and downhill.
That one is well off target. Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just ride a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. Back to the second hole here at Bay Hill. Frank, long par 3.
And that green slopes so much from right to left, so you can actually use the contours of the green here.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Little redemption chance here. Had bogey yesterday. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. And getting ready for the putt. Oh, I thought he had that. Just hammered that par putt, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he was thinking or what was going through his mind right there, but you better wake up in a hurry, because if this one doesn't go in, that score's going to rack up very quickly.
Well, too bad. He gives one back. Now at the par 4 third, Frank, this is a great golf hole.
It certainly is. Remember, the brain doesn't register don'ts. So aim right. There's a bunker down there. Keep focusing on where you want it to go, not in the other direction.
Just busted that. 325 yards in the fairway. Frank, this is one of my favorite shots on the course here at Bay Hill, the second at number 3. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that. Well, just needs to refocus right here. Out of bounds on that last shot, needs to keep this one in play. Now this will be counted as the 4th shot after going OB on that previous shot.
Just seems an absolute waste. Got to take your time.
Trying to limit the damage here. This putt is for bogey. Always love to hear the sound of the bottom of the cup. Rich Lerner with Frank Nobilo back at the 4th hole here at Bay Hill. This is the first par 5 on the golf course. 561 yards. You thinking birdie here, Frank?
No, you certainly are. Perhaps even 3. This is almost ramrod straight. Little hazard down the right side. But a good one, you can certainly get home for 2.
And now the second shot here at this par 5. Down, little Sheba. Down. Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he was thinking on that.
And it makes the green in regulation. Birdie putt coming up. A bogey on this hole yesterday. Fifth hole at Bay Hill. Frank, this is a chance to employ some course management as opposed to maybe brute strength. What do you think?
Yeah, rather soft par 4. No water here, but bunker down the left and bunker down the right. Pinches into that corner. So if you're a little wayward, an iron here is not a bad idea.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Pretty good shot right there. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Frank, we haven't seen a whole lot of that, but no doubt it feels good. Frank, the par 5-6, this is the signature hole here at Bay Hill.
You've got to really pick a line here, Rich. There's a big pine tree down there. On that line, 260 yards gets it to the fairway.
How important, Frank, is the line off of this tee? Because if you hit it well, but you hit it a little too far left, you're probably going to be wet.
You've got to know exactly how far you carry that driver. Otherwise, you've got no idea which line to take.
Good swing, good shot yet again. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up.
It's that sneaky distance. Oh, now that is going to hurt.
He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? Everybody loves him. Birdie on the card. Well, after that beast of a par 5 with all the water, take a sigh of relief, and you come to the par 3-7.
It still takes a good tee shot here, though, Rich. Narrow entry, green's 30 yards deep. You still really got to focus on hitting a good shot here.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. 8-foot putt here. Maybe a misread right there. Well, not going to make par here. He needs this to only give up one. That's how you keep a round going. Make them from that distance. Let's move on to the 8th. And Frank, what's ahead here?
Big par 4, just over 450 yards. Ideally, you want to get it down by that bunker where it's nice and flat, because that second shot, you know what's coming up.
So in the first cut here, it could be worse. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
That was a pretty nasty lie out of the rough. He did the right thing there, Frank. Frank, you've been in this position. The hole hasn't gone the way you've wanted. What do you do?
Well, we'd all like to make birdies and eagles, but, that's not the name of the game. We've seen that. It's minimizing your mistakes. So right now is a perfect opportunity to try and minimize the mistakes. Get away with a bogey here. That's something to be proud of.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Getting set now over the putt. Frank, you know full well, this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
Rounding out the front 9 here at Bay Hill, 474-yard par 4. Frank, you've played this hole before. Where are you lining up when you step onto the tee here?
There's an out of bounds all the way down the left side that you have to be cognizant of. But that bunker, 290 yards carries it. And yet again, another hole that favors the long hitter.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. On the green, and a chance for birdie. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
He'll take par and move on. Beautiful day here at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida. The great weather. And Frank, how do you get off to a great start here on the back nine?
Trying to avoid those three bunkers, two on the left, one on the right, but it's one of the few holes that moves to the right. So if you can just smoke one over that right bunker, just a sand iron in there.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Just a bit offline here, Frank, but not too bad.
You don't know if it's the wind or just the lie there. Should be okay.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a couple of feet. Stroke that with authority. Another par 4 here, the 11th. It's just under 440 yards. This time, there's water looming left and then bunkers on the right-hand side. It's a pretty good challenge, Frank.
This hole's very similar to the third hole on the front side. Two bunkers down the right side. Just got to keep it a little left. You don't have to hit driver here.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That is how it's done right there. What an approach shot. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie.
That was cruel. It looked like it was certainly going in.
Locked in on the read and the speed. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, now we're at the 574-yard, par 5, 12th. How critical are the par 5s if you're trying to put a score on the board here at Bay Hill?
They're crucial, Rich, because the par 4s are very, very difficult. So anytime you get a par 5, you've really got to take advantage of it. Second shot.
Frank, where's this one headed?
Might just catch the left side of the green. Get on the dance floor, but it's going to be a long way away from the band.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Oh, yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Frank, the par 4 13th, relatively short, but not necessarily easy.
Yeah, stringent tee shot. A lot of people are tempted to take a bigger club off the tee. 300 yards runs out of the fairway, but really, what does that give you in?
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important that this one goes in.
Frank, now to the 14th of par 3, and how difficult is this hole?
Once again, very narrow entry into the green, so ideally you want to fly the ball a little higher than normal. Make it soft, make it land a little softer.
Frank, it's a hard game to play from the high grass.
And that's where he's been more often than not today.
And setting up here in the rough. Pretty good shot right there. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. No problems there.
Yeah, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
At the 15th hole now at Bay Hill, this is a massive dogleg, Frank.
Yeah, if you're a Bubba Watson type player and you can move the ball around, you can move it left to right, that'll certainly help the tee shot. If you're average Joe, though, just hit it down the left. Take your medicine.
Little shaky behind the wheel today, Frank.
Oh, shaky? Maybe put both hands on it.
Frank, this actually isn't the most difficult shot, is it, for a high-level player?
You got a clean lie, it's firm underneath. The biggest thing, though, really, you don't want to hit the path first. Clean strike, though. This is almost like hitting off the fairway.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Frank, looks like maybe the greatest bunker player of all time right there.
Well, he's making a name for himself today. You could certainly put him up there with Gary Player, Severiano Ballesteros. That was just a great...
Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Is this a good risk-reward par 5?
It's more about the second shot here. It's probably the most demanding second shot on the golf course. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Ball rolls up, not his best effort, but it certainly won't be a round record.
30 feet. On the PGA Tour, the statistics of making one from 30 feet nearly the same as 3-putting.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Little redemption chance here, had bogey yesterday. Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Frank, this is a great hole through the years to watch when the pressure is ratcheted up deep into a round. That is all you want at more than 220 yards.
Plays slightly shorter because it's downhill. The bunker's on the left in play. Even the bunker short ride and, of course, the water, if you just miss it a bit, that's in play. And the green shapes away from you. This has to be the most difficult par 3 on the golf course. Another good swing. Another good approach shot.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Has his par. Finishing hole at Bay Hill. Frank, how good is this 18th?
Well, it's good because it makes you scratch your head. If you look at your score, your own personal score, and then fast forward, you've made a big mistake.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
And it makes the green in regulation. Bogey here yesterday. Now this for birdie. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Wow, I thought he made that. Well, that's disappointing. He misses the par putt, and he'll have this for bogey. This hole is playing tough. Bogey here yesterday, and now looking at bogey again. Frank, it has been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey. Final round coverage comes your way tomorrow for our entire crew. I'm Rich Lerner saying thanks for being with us on EA Sports, and so long for now. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. One of the famous layouts on the PGA Tour, it's the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. This is the King's Palace. Arnold Palmer built it, Frank, in the 1970s.
And for so long, it has been the showcase for Orlando golf.
Excellent opening tee shot right in the fairway. Now the approach here at number one, Frank, what's he looking at?
A nice high, soft landing second shot would be ideal here. There's a little bit of a ridge in this green. Don't really want to be going long here. Those two bunkers, never easy coming out of those and downhill.
Playing this par four, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Nice approach shot. I'll be happy with that. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Back to the second hole here at Bay Hill. Frank, long par three.
And that green slopes so much from right to left, so you can actually use the contours of the green here.
Second shot, good look at the green. Just a couple of feet. Good roll. Frank, now to the third hole, and where's the trouble here? That's fairly obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's one thing you don't want to remind yourself of. There's a bunker all the way down the right side. That's a good place to aim.
No fairway here. This one in that rough. Frank, in golf, as we know, there's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target.
Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Fourth hole is the first par 5 on the golf course, Frank.
Very scoreable. Two bunkers down the left, the first of which takes 330 yards to get it past that.
Definite birdie hole, maybe even a chance for Eagle to really jumpstart the round. Well, those are good numbers right there. 3-2-0, 320 yards, just crushed it in the fairway. Stuck the follow-through right there. This could be really good. Frank, how did he do there?
Well, he's inside 30 feet, but 27 feet, that's not exactly what you call close.
Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Frank, well off the pace, but the true professionals, they keep digging, trying to get better. Frank, what's the play here off the tee? Is it driver, or do you play it safe with an iron?
A lot of the times that's predicated by the wind, Rich. If you've got a trailing breeze, driver is very much in play. Otherwise, just poke a little iron down the right side.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
I mean, really on top of his game right now. That was a splendid approach shot. This for another birdie on this hole on the week. Oh, yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Frank, talk to us about the 6th hole.
I don't want to. It's too difficult.
Why not?
It's too hard. It's too difficult. John Daly made 18.
But that's not such a bad score. If you break it down, that's...
Break it down for one hole. It broke
three pars
him down.
and an eagle. Wow, that is a monster drive down there. About 315 yards. Good-looking shot right here. Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. Settles in over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Breathing a sigh of relief. You made it through the par 5 without getting wet. And now you're at this par 3-7, Frank.
You've got to guarantee a carry at least 7 or 8 yards onto the screen because that's where that bunker is on that right. It cuts in 7 yards.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. That was not a very good read right there. So just a formality here. Did the job right there. Let's move on to the 8th. And Frank, what's ahead here?
Big par 4, just over 450 yards. Ideally, you want to get it down by that bunker where it's nice and flat because that second shot, you know what's coming up.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. This has been a great performance so far, but Frank, a long ways to go. Do you ever worry about complacency?
Yeah, sometimes it just looks like it's too easy. At the moment, the putts are going in, the iron shots are going close enough, but some things, they don't happen by accident. He's got to still keep concentrating right now.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Final hole now of the front side. It's a 474-yard par 4. And Frank, you've played it before. What works best here?
Well, ideally a nice little draw off the tee. The hole's quite weird because the tee shot shapes to the left and yet the green goes the other way.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Down, little Sheba. Down! Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
And he's made it onto the green now. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Those keep the round going, those par putts. Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back nine, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you've just got to keep out of your own way.
Frank, it's a hard game to play from the high grass.
And that's where he's been more often than not today.
Frank, this ball's in the rough. You like to hinge just a little bit quicker on the takeaway when the ball is down like this?
No, when it's down, you've just got to make sure that you wind up almost like you're hitting a tee shot. This is not one to be dallied with. You've got to hit it powerfully, and you really have to focus on that club getting through the grass, past the ball, and out the other side.
Made it. Frank, 440-yard par 4 11th. You see that number on the card, you think driver. Maybe not. Why?
Yeah, it's imperative you hit the fairway here, Rich. Water obviously in play left, 2 bunkers on the right. This is a second shot hole.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. He's hit the green, but his work is by no means finished. A difficult putt coming up from about 25 feet. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
It's a very makeable putt here. He is currently 5 under for his round. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, now we're at the 574-yard, par 5 12th. How critical are the par 5s if you're trying to put a score on the board here at Bay Hill?
They're crucial, Rich, because the par 4s are very, very difficult. So anytime you get a par 5, you really got to take advantage of it. Second shot.
Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You've got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
That's one of the more depressing sights in golf. You've hit a good one, and then it just sucks back too much spin off the green. On the green, and a chance for birdie. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Frank, the par 4 13th, relatively short, but not necessarily easy.
Yeah, stringent tee shot. A lot of people are tempted to take a bigger club off the tee. 300 yards runs out of the fairway, but really, what does that give you in?
Par 4 13th, Frank, how do you hit this approach shot?
Rich, it's the first par 4 at Bay Hill where the water is actually on the right of the green, and that has to be taken into consideration. Just a little errant shot, and then you're going to be wet. So a little left of the flag, that's where you want to be.
Good, clean contact and a nice result, and a chance for birdie coming up. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Just a little tap in here. Good effort and good par putt. Frank, one of the things I like about Bay Hill is it requires you to hit clean, strong golf shots, and here's another case at the par 3 14th. It's more than 200 yards.
Another one, really, you've just got to play it through the air. You can't play this like an Open Championship run-up par 3. You must fly it onto the green.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Right in the heart. Frank, the 15th, kind of a fun golf hole if you can curve your ball. I mean, that's a huge dogleg to the right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's much easier if you're a right-hander if you cut it down here. If you don't cut it, then make sure you don't run out down that left side. Normally you'd say that's a bad tee shot, but this is a pattern, Rich.
Oh, look out, Frank. Where's this one headed?
This is definitely rough, Rich, off the tee.
Yeah, about 145 yards left here. Frank, this game, you know full well, is not just about the good, hard strikes. Sometimes you have to control your golf ball, and he doesn't quite seem to be able to do that yet.
Yeah, distance control is a skill. No two ways about it. Know how far you hit each club.
Frank looks like maybe the greatest bunker player of all time right there.
Well, he's making a name for himself today. You could certainly put him up there with Gary Players, Severiano Ballesteros. That was just a great bunker shot.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. We've seen guys through the years blow the tournament right on this hole.
Yeah, if you get a little too greedy here, you try and make eagle. It's sometimes with a good tee shot, it's an easy 4, but a 3 brings 7 into play. This looks like it's heading for the bunker. Lucky devil. That was going in the bunker all the way.
Frankie could make eagle right here with a really good approach shot.
Yeah, well within his reach, too. And, Rich, if we just sit back and relax here, I think we're going to see perhaps a very good look at eagle coming up.
That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. This one just requires a little bit of focus. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round.
Well, sneaking into contention here with that birdie.
Top 15 now on the leaderboard. Frank, this is a great hole through the years to watch when the pressure is ratcheted up deep into a round. That is all you want at more than 220 yards.
Plays slightly shorter because it's downhill. Bunkers on the left in play. Even the bunker short ride and, of course, the water. If you just miss it a bit, that's in play. And the green shapes away from you. This has to be the most difficult par 3 on the golf course.
Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No. Just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Well, Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. To give it and to take it away.
And he makes it for a bogey here. Frank, this is a stout finishing hole, the 18th, isn't it?
Yeah, it finishes that great run of 16, 17, and 18, and so many times we've seen disaster and triumph just on those final 3 holes.
And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. This one doesn't look good.
There's water over there.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now he'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
And Frank, that steady play continues.
Rock solid. Excellent approach shot.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
That'll put a wrap on our final round coverage for all of us at EA Sports. I'm Rich Lerner. We'll see you next time.
you.